First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Welcome to WUFT News First at 5. I'm Samantha Chery.
And I'm Shannon Taylor. Thanks for joining us. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed House Bill 1557 into law today. Officially called the Parental Rights in Education Bill, opponents have nicknamed it the Don't Say Gay Bill. This new bill bans educators from teaching about sexual orientation or gender identity issues in kindergarten through 3rd grade. And after 3rd grade, those subjects must be taught in a way that is age appropriate according to state standards. Parents get the right to sue a district over potential violations. During today's event, DeSantis held up examples of transgender educational materials he said he found in schools in Florida. He says parents need to be in the loop. Critics say vulnerable kids could lose a lifeline and supportive mentors. WUFT's Kendall Brandt spent time with local LGBT+ advocacy groups to find out how this bill is impacting the community on a local scale. Kendall, the Alachua County Board of Commissioners came out in support of the LGBT community, right?
That is correct, Samantha and Shannon. The Board of Commissioners presented a resolution last week in support of the community and against the bill. Its request to the governor to not sign the bill did not persuade him. His signature is not dampening the hope local activists have for the future. A glimmer of hope arose out of the last Alachua County Commissioners meeting. Commissioner Mary Alford presented a resolution that passed unanimously in support for the LGBTQ+ community and against the Don't Say Gay bill.
I asked our county commission if they would support a resolution in support of our teachers and our LGBTQ kids, and they all said yes, absolutely.
This was more than a gesture to local LGBTQ+ advocacy groups. The Pride Community Center of North Central Florida, parents, families, and friends of lesbians and gays, and the Unspoken Treasure Society partnered in the effort. Pride Community Center President Tamara Perry-Leonardo believes the resolution will uplift queer youth.
We've been working together to get the word out into the community about the Don't Say Gay bill, what it means, the impacts it'll have on the LGBTQ+ community, especially our youth.
The activists are not surprised Governor DeSantis signed the bill.
When the bill was filed, in my mind, it was going to be law.
The county's resolution may have not persuaded DeSantis. However, Regina Livingston says acknowledging support for the community is inspiring.
I think that knowing that gives us hope to keep fighting.
The census and CDC recorded that over 4,000 students in Alachua County identify as LGBTQ+. Livingston, Spear, and Perry-Leonardo want to create a safe space for those students outside of school.
We just have to do our damnedest to support them and help them to be safe and supported until they're grown up.
Livingston wants others to uplift the community beyond the passage of the bill.
I just want people to know that we are human beings. We are good people. We want the community to show us love and not hate.
It is that love that keeps them fighting for equality.
The investigation is ongoing for last week's death of a vacationing teenager on a drop tower ride. Orlando reporter Stacy De Silva has the latest.
It's dubbed the world's tallest freestanding drop tower at over 400 feet high. The Orlando Free Fall at Icon Park opened over the Christmas holiday, and now it is closed indefinitely.
The Orange County Sheriff's Office role in this incident is to determine whether or not this is an accident.
Orange County Sheriff John Mina says 14-year-old Kyrie Sampson was visiting with a friend's family from Missouri. Just after 11 Thursday night, Sampson fell out of his seat while the ride was coming down. He was taken to a local hospital where he died. While still under investigation, the sheriff called the incident a terrible tragedy.
We're just deeply saddened and shocked by what happened last night. So our hearts break for the family.
That is John Stein. He is the director of sales and marketing for the Slingshot Group of companies, which operates the Free Fall attraction. He says there are multiple checks to make sure every rider is safely harnessed in.
The ride will not operate if those checks are not green lighted. So again, everything was functioning properly when the ride started. What we don't know is what happened after that.
We had some beautiful weather today.
Yes, finally some warmer temperatures and not a cloud in sight. WFT's Julia Haley now joins us with the weather forecast.
Yes, sunny blue skies for our Monday. Currently 81 degrees outside of our studio. Sun streaming through outside of the stadium with those northwesterly winds as well. For tonight, expect those temperatures to cool down into the mid-60s. This evening, seeing those calm winds and clear skies overall. And we'll be looking for some fog tomorrow morning starting around midnight, 4 a.m., even into 8 a.m. That fog becoming very present all over north central Florida, some dense fog as well. Looks like Lake City is going to get a little bit of a break from that fog, but everywhere else in north central Florida, prepare yourself for just a little bit of fog in your morning commute. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. Olympian Brittany Bowe makes another visit to her hometown of Ocala and Trinity High School. Nearly 500 students, faculty, and alumni welcomed the winter speed skater back to the halls she walked 16 years ago. The event included a speech delivered by Bowe and the opportunity for former faculty and friends to reconnect. Bowe won a bronze medal at the 1,000-meter event in the Beijing Winter Olympics. Like two other Ocala Olympians, Bowe did inline roller skating growing up before making the switch to ice skating. As another COVID-19 subvariant spreads throughout Europe and other parts of the world, the U.S. could soon experience another COVID wave.
Coming up on WUT's First at 5, what the FDA is doing to prepare and how other parts of the world are handling outbreaks. Stay with us.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
The White House is in cleanup mode after President Biden's off-the-cuff remark that Russian President Vladimir Putin cannot remain in power. The president says he was not actually calling for regime change in Russia. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
As Russian airstrikes rain down on Ukraine, claiming a mounting toll of civilian lives, President Biden is walking a fine line in how far he can go to condemn the attacks. Today, clarifying an ad-lib comment made over the weekend in Poland.
I was expressing the moral outrage I felt towards this man. I wasn't articulating a policy change.
These 9 words about Russian President Vladimir Putin.
For God's sake, this man cannot remain in power.
Igniting a diplomatic firestorm with leaders at home and abroad saying Putin may be further emboldened if he thinks the West is trying to kick him out of office. While some analysts argue
Vladimir Putin is not just saying things like Mr. Zelensky shouldn't be in power. He has invaded Ukraine to try to do regime change there. Let's keep the focus on that.
A fresh round of peace talks set to begin tomorrow in Turkey, with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky saying he's open to declaring his country neutral, ending a bid to join the NATO alliance, and would potentially compromise on some contested territory in the east, where the Russian military claims it's now focused. That after failing to capture the capital of Kyiv, officials in one suburb saying Ukrainian forces had regained control. President Biden promising more help for Ukraine. That as he rolled out a nearly $6 trillion budget proposal that includes major increases in military spending. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
China launches another coronavirus lockdown to counter an outbreak in Shanghai. Shanghai's lockdown will be the most extensive one since the very first in Wuhan in early 2020. The east side of the river is locked down until Friday as mass testing gets underway. Then starting Friday, the west side will start its own 5-day lockdown. Infections may be low by global standards, but China is sticking with snap lockdowns as a tool for its zero COVID policy. In coming days, the FDA may authorize a second COVID booster shot. Both Moderna and Pfizer have asked for approval for a 4th jab. This comes as an Omicron subvariant is spreading around the world. CNN sources say the FDA approval may not be a recommendation, just an approved option for Americans age 50 and older. A few countries already allow a 4th dose for vulnerable groups.
President Biden says he will propose a new minimum tax on the wealthiest households in his 2023 budget. If Congress approves, households worth more than $100 million would have a minimum income tax of 20%. The majority of new revenue would come from billionaires. According to White House estimates, it would reduce that deficit by about $350 billion over the next decade. Sunday night's Academy Awards will go down as one of its most memorable ones, thanks to a punch or slap by an actor who did not take a joke well from a comedian presenter. We get this recap now from NBC.
And the Oscar goes to... Okay, Coda.
A story about the child of deaf parents won Best Picture at the Academy Awards last night. Coda, which stands for Child of Deaf Adults, made Apple TV Plus the first streaming service to win Oscar's biggest prize. The film also won Best Adapted Screenplay and Best Supporting Actor for Troy Kotsur, the first deaf man to win an acting Oscar.
This is dedicated to the deaf community, the CODA community, and the disabled community. This is our moment.
Best Supporting Actress went to Ariana DeBose of West Side Story, the first openly queer woman of color to win the award.
Dreams do come true, and that's really a heartening thing right now.
But overshadowing these milestone moments was a shocking one. Actor Will Smith punched comedian Chris Rock live on stage after Rock made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's shaved head. Will Smith continued shouting expletives at Rock after he sat down, stunning the audience and millions of viewers.
That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
Making the evening more awkward, shortly after the altercation, Will Smith accepted the award for Best Actor for his role in King Richard. Tears streaming down his face, Smith rambled about his character's protective role in the movie, while tennis stars Serena and Venus Williams looked on without expression. Smith apologized to the Academy, but not to Chris Rock.
Hope the Academy invites me back. Thank you.
Honors for Best Actress went to Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye, while Best Director went to a woman for the second year in a row, Jane Campion, who directed Power of the Dog. And in a show of solidarity with the people of Ukraine, the show observed a moment of silence. In Hollywood, Gina Kim, NBC News.
We've had some dry weather these past few days, but a system is approaching. When exactly will the rain arrive? We'll be back with the full breakdown in a few minutes.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Starting off our Monday with these beautiful blue skies, not a cloud in sight. Currently 82 degrees outside of our studio with some slight northwesterly winds overall. That sun peeking through for our Monday. For our temperatures, currently 82 in Gainesville, 80 in Ocala, 79 in Bronson, 79 in Palatka, and a mix of mid-80s and upper 70s for north central Florida. Starting in the mid-70s this evening, but dropping down into the mid-50s overnight. Those clouds building up by the morning, giving us some fog as well throughout most of north central Florida. Lake City here, a little pocket of no fog. But for the rest of us, when we wake up at 8 a.m., possibly for your morning commute, you should be seeing some dense fog in your area. This week, we are heating up, meaning that our baseball game tomorrow should be warm as well, starting in the mid-80s, but by the time the game starts, it should be around 80 degrees and dropping into the mid-60s by the time you leave that game. Clear skies overall. And for our Wednesday, those warmer temperatures are going to stay sitting in the upper 80s, 87 for Gainesville, 87 Bronson, 89 Ocala, 86 for Palatka, and 78 for St. Augustine. So pretty warm all around, and that's all because this high pressure system is bringing a warm air mass into our area with those clear skies as well, but this cold front is going to be entering north central Florida soon as well. So for our pollen forecast, looking pretty heavy for the next week as the grass and tree pollen are pretty heavy, but by Thursday and Friday when that cold front hits, that ragweed pollen pollen will be up as well, meaning you may want to be taking your allergy medicine if you are allergic. For Friday, those April showers are going to be present as this cold front moves this rain into our area, this system bringing in some heavier rain than what we've seen for the past. Overall, this rain should be gone by the afternoon and into the evening on Friday, so you may want to bring your rain jacket overall if you're going to be out in the morning. So for the 6-day outlook, starting with those warm temperatures on Tuesday and Wednesday, but by Thursday, that cold front bringing in some rain throughout the rest of the week as well. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. Gator baseball and softball fans are looking forward to their next games after this weekend.
Yes, both teams lost their series this weekend and dropped in national rankings. We'll hear more about that and more when we come back.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
It was a disappointing weekend for Gator baseball and the softball team. Both lost their weekend series against SEC opponents. Gator baseball lost 2 of the 3 games against LSU in Gainesville this weekend. Following the 2 losses, the Gators dropped to number 14 in the national rankings, according to D1Baseball.com. Florida lost on Saturday and Sunday by a combined 27-6.
I honestly think LSU just imposed their will on us, and we did not respond at all. So disappointing, but we'll get better, and we're going to have to get better because then get it much easier moving forward.
The Gator softball team lost 2 games against the Tennessee Lady Vols before winning the final game yesterday. In that game, Gator pitcher Elizabeth Hightower recorded her 9th win of the season. The series loss is the first time for the Gators to lose an SEC series since the 2020 season. As a result, Florida drops to number 7 according to the D1Softball.com rankings. The defense has been a focus for the last week of spring practice for the Gator football team, especially on the defensive line. With a lot of seniors from last season's defense eligible for the NFL draft, the coaching staff is looking for younger players to step up. Defensive line coach and co-defensive coordinator Sean Spencer talked about the improvement he sees in rising senior defensive lineman Javon Dexter.
He works so hard, he wants to be great. He's in my office all the time. Like one time I asked him, could I sit in my chair, because he was in there watching film, right? He wants to be great. He knows that I've coached guys like Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence, and I've shown him tape of those guys, and he wants to be great like that. And I think he's got a chance to be great.
Today, the facility is being used for the 16 seniors on the team to showcase their talents at the Gators Pro Day. Florida men's basketball player Keontae Johnson has been accused of sexual assault. WUFT's TJ Legacy Cole reported today that Johnson asserts it was consensual. Johnson reportedly got in a heated argument with a football player who was a romantic interest of Johnson's accuser. Johnson hired a criminal defense lawyer, Ron Kozlowski, who has previously represented UF students in sexual assault cases.
Expect those calm winds to be present overall, looking at those sunny skies warming up throughout the day into the mid-80s. For the rest of the week, looking at our 6-day outlook, those higher temperatures staying around the mid-80s, upper 80s as well. Thursday, seeing that rain. Friday through the rest of the week, that rain persisting as well. And temperatures staying with lows in the 60s and highs in the upper 80s. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. BBC World News is next, and the PBS News Hour is coming up at 7.
But your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org. Have a good night.